What is going on, everybody? Your man Big B, Brian Hanley here on Steelers Almighty. Just wanted to check in with you guys, touch base with you a little bit on some of the today's stuff. Terry Bradshaw. Touch base with you a little bit. Lord have mercy. Today's stuff. He is killing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Terry Bradshaw is just killing them. I mean, doesn't want Aaron Rodgers anywhere around. I thought it was wild. I don't know. It's just me talking about go stay in California. I mean, he's attacking him personally. He's not attacking his football. You know, if he was attacking his football, that would be one thing. Hey, the guy can't play anymore. You know, he's washed up. Hey, what's going on, Arch Baby Doll? I can understand if that was the case and that was his reasoning. You know, he's attacking his football. The guy can't play anymore. We need to move on. What are we doing? All that kind of stuff. Okay, I get that. But now he's attacking him personally, which to me, as a former football player, I find a little tacky, to be honest with you. Hey, what's going on, Byron Nelson? Yeah, that's the part that I find a little tacky with Terry Bradshaw, is that he's attacking him personally, which I don't know what the reasoning behind that is. Look, if you don't want Aaron Rodgers and you don't think he's any good, okay. You know, we don't all have to agree, but it really doesn't matter. He's not good. Great. Okay, you don't like him. But my whole thing is that you're to attack him personally. That's the part I didn't get. You know, telling him stay in California, you know, chew on some tree bark. I'm like, okay, what? Oh, okay, I guess. And, you know, I guess the older you get and, you know, if you're a superstar, you can say whatever you want. I guess we can all say whatever we want, but I just didn't know that. I didn't know. I didn't like it. Not that I didn't know it. I didn't like that. And I get that Terry Bradshaw hadn't had a good relationship with the Pittsburgh Steelers in forever. He hasn't. His relationship with the Steelers has been garbage. Yes, Arch Baby Doll, it was tacky and immature. Absolutely. And I get what you're saying, you know, Brenda, that AR is a problem, but he hasn't been a problem for the Steelers other than not signing with us, you know, and showing up for OTAs. But that's our fault. You know, that's our fault. I don't even put that on him because he's not under contract with us. So that's our fault as an organization. But, and you're right, Felicia. Terry is just being Terry. You're exactly right. He's just being Terry. And like I said, his relationship with the Steelers has not been very good for so long. But it's ridiculous. I just thought the quote, the whole interaction, I just thought it was tacky. You know, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. You know, I'm just, you know, again, he's mad at the wrong people. He's mad at Aaron Rodgers for not wanting to sign. You know, I can be frustrated that he hasn't signed with the Steelers. That's fine. But he isn't signed with the Steelers. So you can be frustrated all you want and mad all you want. He doesn't owe the Steelers anything. You know, he doesn't owe us anything. And to act like he does, it seemed just, to me, it just seems stupid. It just seems stupid. But again, he's mad at the Steelers. And I know he called it a joke that we were wanting to bring him in because his exact thing, that is a joke. That is, just to me, is a joke. What are we going to do? Bring him in for 1 year? Yes, that's what we're going to do. The guy needs to stay in California, go somewhere and chew on bark and whisper to gods out there. Now, what is that for? Now, part of it is, like I said, it's Terry Bradshaw being Bradshaw. But I just, it was ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If you're mad about it, and you're right, Mark Malone, Terry's a grumpy old, well, I'm going to leave that last part alone. I don't know. Brenda's saying because he threatened the health of his players and their family with being dishonest about his positive COVID test. He wasn't dishonest about his positive COVID test. What he was dishonest about is saying that he got vaccinated when he didn't. But okay, fine. I didn't like that either, but that doesn't have anything to do with this situation. This situation is something totally different. And so if you're right, Byron, you're exactly right. I love this point. To attack him personally means you have nothing else to say. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I am doing well, Andre Green. I am doing well. So, S Minor says it's ridiculous, all this for a bridge QB when we have one signed. Let's move on. I mean, I don't know. No, I don't think Terry Bradshaw is telling him to do anything. If he wanted to do that, there's ways of Terry Bradshaw doing that. He could find a way to contact Aaron Rodgers personally if he was wanting him to move on. So, hey, you don't like this format? Sorry, it is what it is. From time to time, this is what it's going to be. So I appreciate you watching for 6 months, though, my man. I really do. But things evolve, things change. So, but appreciate your feedback. How do I feel about the 2025 Steelers? I've said it. I like the Steelers. I like the Steelers roster. I do. I think it's better than if you remove the quarterback, which obviously you can't do. It's the most important position, not just in football, but in sports. So you can't eliminate the position. But I like the roster of the Steelers. I think they got better on the defensive line. I think getting guys, I mean, obviously there's ifs and question marks. What's going on, Concept? But I like the roster. So, as horrible as a message was, it's not really what people already think. I mean, there's going to be some people that don't like Aaron Rodgers for whatever reason. So, and the silence, Felicia, you're right too. Silence on the Steelers' part, yeah. At this point is why the media is running hack on the Steelers. The Steelers need to get a fourth QB and end the drama. I don't disagree. Like I said, I told y'all how I felt. If you are new to an organization as a quarterback and you don't show up to OTAs, you're not being serious. It's not. You're not being serious. Neither the quarterback nor the organization is serious about winning. So I guess he won't be wearing number 12. Yeah, probably not, man. Probably not. But yeah, that's the whole thing is that I've moved on from thinking that the Steelers are serious about this season. My deadline was yesterday. That was OTAs. He didn't show up. He's not serious about winning football. You need as much time to get to know and get familiar with everybody on that offensive team as possible, and he didn't do it. So bark chewing is never any good. So Baby Doll says, in my opinion, I feel Rodgers is using the Steelers as a side piece. I mean, he could be. He could be. And as much as like Will Howard might be, and Rob is saying keep an eye on Will Howard might be the most hyped up 6th round draft pick quarterback in the history of the National Football League. Just think about that for a second. Everybody keeps talking about, well, we found one and we got one. He is he is the most hyped 6th round quarterback in the history of the National Football League. I just don't, I'm not saying that the guy can't play. I'm not saying that at all. But, well, we stole him. There are some steals in the 6th round from time to time. And time will tell if this is it. But more often than not, you get drafted in the 6th round, I feel like people are they're so enamored. And I'm one of those people. So when I say people, I'm including myself in this, is that we're so enamored with wanting to have another quarterback because we don't have one. The Steelers draft one, all of a sudden, oh man, he's great. Well, hold on a second, man. Hold on a second. And don't bring up the Tom Brady comparison. That was a once in a lifetime type of thing. So that's the thing. I like Will Howard. I think he can be a good quarterback. But he was drafted in the 6th round for a reason. And it isn't because everybody else was wrong. At least not part of it. You know, George says the Steelers are setting a bad example for future players wanting to sign with them, but keep dragging their feet. Now, I don't think the Steelers aren't dragging their feet. Or if you're talking about other players dragging their feet, I mean, maybe. I think it's just a weird situation. So, I think it's just a weird situation. Hey, Alonzo. How you doing, Mr. Dunn? So, you're right. It's a harsh reality for me, too. It's a harsh reality for me, too. I don't like it at all. So, yeah, he lights it up in the preseason. And we've seen that before, Mark Malone. We've seen, remember when Baby Hands, what do you have, a perfect quarterback rating the entire preseason? Remember that 2 years ago? Perfect quarterback rating for the whole preseason. Game 1, disaster. Absolute disaster. So, I don't know about that, Jason, talking about Terry Bradshaw didn't say a lie. Like, he's attacking the man personally. Like, why do you have to attack him personally? Personally, I don't get that. We're going to be worse than the Jets with Rodgers. No, we won't. So, kitten mittens. So, who won 12 games that season? Like, when did the Steelers win 12 games? With who? I must have missed something. So, I apologize. But when did they win 12 games? Not with no baby hands, they didn't. So, what's going on, Rob Nash? How you doing, man? Yeah, no, the Steelers didn't win no 12 games with baby hands. That didn't happen. And it is a conundrum. It is a conundrum. So, no, you're right about Terry Concept. You're exactly right. He wants those clicks. He does. So, no, we haven't won. Yeah, we haven't won 12 games since Ben. Here's the thing that I heard today is on the facility, which I don't even watch. I saw the clip on YouTube. Is that, Shady McCoy, he was blaming Ben Roethlisberger for the Steelers' problems. He was blaming Big Ben, saying it was his fault. The last years of his career, he wasn't very good. My whole thing with that is like, so let me get this straight. I'm a player in the National Football League. I'm out here playing. I'm not what I once was, but there's a team that's still out here willing to give me good money to play quarterback. I'm supposed to say no? Like, why am I supposed to say no? If it's the Steelers' responsibility to say, Ben, enough is enough. We got to move on. No, Ben was not the main problem. That's ridiculous. It's not the player's responsibility to say, you know what? I'm just going to stop playing. I'm going to stop taking these checks that you guys keep writing me. I'm just going to stop doing that. No. Oh, by the way, it's not like the Steelers haven't done it before. Troy Polamalu didn't want to retire. But what did they tell him? Either you retire or we're going to cut you. They absolutely said that to him. And while he thought about playing for another team, he said, nope, I'm going to go ahead and retire. And you're right. Shady got some good points, but this one was terrible. It's like you can't blame Big Ben for continue to play. You can't do that. It's the organization's job to say, we're done. It's time to move on. So, no, Shady is not on to anything. Shady is not on to anything. So, the only thing that he said that made sense was Ben threw a fit when they drafted Mason Rudolph. And he did. But Ben was wrong. And the organization should have told him he was wrong. And all they had to say was, hey, man, we got a plan for life after you. That's it. Or they didn't have to tell him nothing. They don't owe him an explanation. But we didn't. And us as fans, we can't have it both ways. We can't have it where, well, we get mad at players for not being loyal and then turn around and then, well, the organization was too loyal. Now we're going to blame the player for continuing to play. What? So you're mad when a player leaves in free agency and isn't loyal or he holds out for more money. You're mad at the player for that. Now you're mad at the player for continuing to play on his contract? Come on, people. We can't do that. We can't be that fan base. It's the organization's fault what happened with Big Ben. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There is none. If they didn't want Ben to be the quarterback, they should have told him, this is it. You're done. We're moving on. We love you. We'll build a statue of you. We're going to retire your number. But you can't be the quarterback of our football team anymore. And they didn't do it. And here we are. That is not a Big Ben problem. That is 100% on the organization. So, that's it. Brenda Webb says, you're living in the past thinking that Rodgers is still a good QB. When did I say Rodgers was a Hall of Fame QB? Nobody said that. But you look at Rodgers' numbers last year, if that Aaron Rodgers is on the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, the Steelers win 2 more football games. There ain't no debate about that. So you can say whatever you want and be as mad and hate Aaron Rodgers personally. That's fine. But you would be dead wrong if you don't believe if the Aaron Rodgers that played in New York last year and put up the numbers that he did on this Pittsburgh Steelers team last year, the Steelers win 2 more football games. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about that, and everybody knows that. So, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't like the situation that we're in, but this is, again, I don't blame Aaron Rodgers. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers' fault. This is their fault. You know, I can be mad and frustrated if Rodgers ends up signing with us, but he's only doing what they allow him to do. He's only doing what they're allowing him to do. So, that's it. That's it. But to attack him personally, I just don't think Terry had to do that, man. I thought it was tacky. First super chat of the day for our man Alonzo Dunn. Thank you for supporting the channel. Said Rodgers is a Hall of Fame QB, just not today. Exactly. He's not a Hall of Famer. If he's not playing to what his Hall of Fame credentials are. He's not that. So No, I'm not dead wrong, Brenda. Just because you don't like them, that's okay. And typing in all caps, we're adults here. You don't need to do that. Yes, that's exactly right. You want a new QB every single year. You can't have that, Howard. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. The Broncos did the same thing with Russell Wilson. The Broncos said to Russell Wilson, we'll pay you $38 million for you to leave. $38 million for you to leave. And the Steelers didn't do that to Ben. They didn't have to pay Ben anything. So sometimes franchises get it, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't. But that's that part as far as what Terry Bradshaw did. Like I said, he's mad at the situation, and he can't come out and just totally bash the Pittsburgh Steelers because his relationship with the Steelers isn't very good, and he doesn't want to be the one to make it worse. So instead, he takes it out on Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. It didn't make sense to me. I didn't think it was necessary. So I didn't think it was necessary. I got you, Howard. I knew who you were talking about, brother. We're on the same page. We are on the same page. Arch Baby Doll. Rodgers loves the power he has over the Steelers. You said that. That's a mouthful right there. He sure does. And we have allowed him to have it. We have allowed him to have it. But it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. L7 Eagle, I hope everyone is having a blessed day too. I sure do. I sure do. But we'll see. We'll see. Ooh, Boxing Man coming in hot, talking about Big Ben is a rapist. That's not necessary, bro. Not necessary. Now, Mike, I am 1,000,000% with you. Just want to talk X's and O's. Just want to talk X's and O's. And Rob O, you're correct. Chuck Noll and Terry Bradshaw didn't see eye to eye at all. So, didn't see eye to eye at all. Yeah, she's over here snoring. She's getting after it again. She is getting after it again. Every day, man. It's every day. Every day. No matter where I'm at, she's gonna be next to me snoring. Yes, LaFleur, it was the other way around. Oh, no. LaFleur was Smith's boss in Tennessee. So, and I get it. They got the same language and all that good stuff. I understand. So, no, I don't have any kids either, man. That's why that's my baby. She absolutely is. She absolutely is. So, love her to death. Love her to death. Alonzo Dunn supporting the channel like crazy, taking care of Steelers Almighty with the super chat, man. And let's see what he has to say. He says, I might hurt feelings with this, but Bradshaw was lost to me when he moved to Dallas. This super chat reflects my distance from him. Gilliam played better and didn't keep the position for political reasons. I mean, here's the thing. If we're all just being honest about Terry Bradshaw, he was the quarterback and he played well in Super Bowls. He did. He played well in Super Bowls. But was Terry Bradshaw really that good of a quarterback? I mean, we're all Steeler fans. We all love each other in here. We can all be honest. Terry Bradshaw played well in playoffs. He played well in the Super Bowl. But you look at Terry Bradshaw's numbers, or if you are old enough to remember those games, was Terry Bradshaw really that good of a quarterback? So, no. He threw a ton of interceptions. Now, he's not as bad as Joe Namath. Joe Namath, in my eyes, is the most overrated quarterback in the history of the National Football League. They act like Joe Namath was God's gift to quarterback. He was below average. But he won a Super Bowl, and he predicted it, and so then all of a sudden, he became great. But yes, Arch Baby Doll, he was average. Average. You know? No, yeah, hey. Armand, you're never going to get an argument with me about Joe Namath. Joe Namath is he is the most overrated quarterback in the history of the National Football League. The most overrated. The most overrated. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. What's going on, Robert Smith? Appreciate you, man. In St. Louis, we appreciate you. So, no, yeah, it was just, what's going on, Mel? How you doing, man? Yeah, OTAs matter, man. OTAs matter. If OTAs didn't matter for vets, they wouldn't show up, but they do. Now, they can matter for various reasons. Some veterans use OTAs to get themselves in shape. Some veterans use OTAs, to get back in the feel of playing football before they have to go out to minicamp. But they matter. They absolutely matter because, like I said, if they didn't matter, they wouldn't show up. Oh, Byron Nelson, say it again, brother. Say it again. Swan and Stallworth made him look better. Not only that, when they changed the rule, they put the Mel Blunt rule in, and then they started throwing the ball deep. Just throw it as far as you can and let Stallworth and Swan try to go run under it. That was their offense when they weren't running the football. So, Robert Smith, you think Roman Wilson is going to be a beast this year? I've said it before. The offensive line, as far as offense is concerned, O-line 1, Roman Wilson 2. And I leave quarterbacks out of it because obviously we know the quarterback has to play well, because if the quarterback doesn't play well, I don't care if the rest of the team does or not, you're not going to have a good team. So the quarterback has to at least be average. So I kind of leave that out of the conversations. But yeah, Roman Wilson. So Mark Malone, that's why OTAs matter. I mean, Cam Hayward's 36 years old. He's out there the first day of OTAs. Why? They matter. And if that's a guy that says it matters, everybody else needs to say that it matters. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Cam is the man, Miss Arch Baby Doll. Cam absolutely is the man. Lonzo Dunn with the super chat says, let's put Bradshaw to rest. Get him to spell cat. Come on. Little Hollywood Henderson. So we'll see. Boxing Man, are you really a Steelers fan? Because you've been in here a lot. I haven't heard you say one positive thing about the Steelers on any comment ever. Are you sure you're not a Browns fan, brother? Steeler Lee, thank you for the super chat and supporting us. Said Bradshaw is the same guy who said Baby Hands is our franchise QB. Y'all didn't hear what else he said about the other comments that he brought up, did you? He brought up Baby Hands too and said, well, the Steelers failed Baby Hands. He didn't fail. And I'm like, well, hold on a second, man. Number one, I agree. The Steelers didn't give him a great line because the line wasn't great. They couldn't run the ball. The line wasn't great. But he had weapons. He tried to say that he didn't have any weapons. I'm like, well, George Pickens was a weapon. Deontay Johnson was a weapon. Pat Freiermuth was a weapon. He had weapons. The hell are you talking about? So, yeah, he had weapons to throw the ball to. Now, the line was bad. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The line was bad. But somehow, when Mason Rudolph got into the game, he was able to play behind that offensive line. Huh. Yeah, I mean, you all remember that when Mason Rudolph when they finally gave him the opportunity, it was the same weapons and it was the same offensive line. And somehow, just somehow, he was able to go out there and play good football. Wonder why that is. Just amazing how that happened. So, yes, Mel, I saw that. Broderick dropped 20 pounds, said he wanted to be in better shape to run the outside zone schemes, and he left himself open. Hey, if it's not working, maybe I can put on 15 or 20 pounds back, But he wanted to be lighter on his feet and more agile. As long as he doesn't lose power, I love it. I love it. But you know what that also shows, ladies and gentlemen, about Broderick losing 20 pounds? He's taking his profession seriously. There's no bigger critic that is on any platform of Broderick Jones than me. And the reason I'm so hard on Broderick Jones is because I know how good he is when he actually does it. You'll hear me say this all the time. He's the most talented offensive lineman that the Steelers have. I fully believe that. I believe that in my soul. But he just didn't play that well last year. He played terrible last year. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. But he's being a professional. He's taking it seriously. You don't lose 20 pounds in the offseason just for the hell of it. He's not doing that. Most people gain weight. Well, he's like, hold on, no, I didn't play well. Let me figure out a way I can try to fix this. And in his mind, it's losing 20 pounds and being more agile. Whether it works or not, I love the wherewithal for him to say, you know what? I got to be a professional. I got some things that I need to work on. I love that. I love that. And again, it doesn't even matter if it works. I want it to work. It's not going to change my mind if he can't play that the Steelers need to move on. But to me, this gives me more confidence that he's going to be able to play. That's what it does for me. It gives me more confidence that the man is saying, you know what? I got to do something. I got to fix this. I got to fix this. And you're right. Broderick knows it's a prove-it year. He does. But here's the thing. When you know it's a prove-it year, you got to go prove it. And you put things in motion to go prove it. It's better than just saying, hey, you know what? It's a prove-it year. I'm going to show everybody that, yeah, I was just on the right side. Put me on the left side. I'll be fine. Broderick's not looking at it that way. He's like, yes, I feel more comfortable on the left side, but I need to do something. I need to fix what I'm doing. I love it. I love it. Like, yeah, self-made. You want guys like that in your locker room. And Mark, you're right. I don't know if anybody saw Broderick. If you haven't seen him, he does. He looks like a guy that could go play basketball for 60 minutes. It looks like a guy that maybe that's how he lost the weight. Because if y'all remember, Broderick was a good high school basketball player. So maybe that's what he did. I don't know. So, I don't know. That's all my thing is. He looks good. He looks good. So, perfect, boxing man. Perfect. I'm glad you're a fan because, man, you've been on the site on our channel for a while, and everything has been negative. Even when the Steelers win and look good, you found something to be mad about. Can't be that, man. We can't be that base. So, nothing wrong with playing for Arch Manning. I mean, yeah, there is actually something wrong with playing for Arch Manning, considering Arch Manning is not going to come out in the draft in 2026. So there's that. Andre Green says, Big B, have you ever visited the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio? I've been there a few times and plan to go back in June in about 2 or 3. No, I have not. I have not. You know, that is a place that I would like to go, but I have not. So, Arch Baby Doll. All right. I understand. Get to that graduation, root them on. More importantly, you take care of yourself and you have a good day. You have a good day. Good evening. Thank you for coming in. So, I don't think they scared Aaron Rodgers away. I don't know. And at this point, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. People are acting like, can we just get Arch Manning to just start a season before we say that he's the next thing to slice bread? I just want to see him start a season first. What game am I looking forward to the most? That is a good question, Digital Dust. You know, to be honest with you, I would probably say, and I know this is going to sound like a cop-out, but I promise you it isn't. It's the first game. The first game of the year. And it isn't because some people are making it a big deal. Oh, if we have Aaron Rodgers or we're going to the Jets or it's against Justin Fields. I don't give a damn about that. Justin Fields played 6 games for the Steelers. I don't care about that. The only thing that I care about is what we look like. Is the offensive line going to be able to road grade? Because the Jets still have a good defensive line. They still have a pretty good defensive front seven. Are we going to be able to run the football? You know, are we going to be able to pass block? Quentin Williams is still a top 5 defensive tackle in this league. Are we going to be able to throw the ball? Sauce Gardner is still a top 5 corner in this league. You know, are we going to be able to find ways to get guys open in the middle? That's what I want to see. The first game. So that's what I want. The Jets game. And it isn't just because it's the Jets. It's because it's the first game against a team on the road that they're going to say, okay, we want to try to get off to a good start too. Okay, great. And the first game does tell you a lot. And the thing about it is there's lots of mistakes that get made in the first game of a football season. Lots. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm not the, well, we got to get back. We want to make sure that Justin Fields. Look, if Justin Fields has a great season, fine. As long as he plays lousy against the Steelers, I don't care about anything other than that as far as the Jets. I won't think about them. As soon as the last second ticks off the clock of the Steelers-Jets game, I won't think about the Jets not another second all season. I literally don't care. I don't care. Man, Alonzo, done with another super chat, says, everyone, Arch Manning is just the top NIL guy. He didn't beat out yours. And he didn't. He didn't. Look, and I don't believe that Steve Sarkisian is the guy that's going to say, well, you know, he was a senior So we just put him out there. No, I think he would have played whoever the best guy was. I don't think Arch Manning was ready to play yet. I don't think he was ready to play. Now, he might be this year. And I also don't think there's anything wrong with sitting and learning for a while. Like, there's so much that people talk about that, and Damian Washington's got a good point. Next draft should be a QB, then corner, O-line, D-line, and safety. I don't disagree. Throw wide receiver in there too. But yeah, he sat for a couple of years. Now he's going to get his chance to play. That used to be what every college quarterback did. The only thing that changed was transfer portal and NIL. Before transfer portal and NIL, guys came. They sat for a year or two. Then they got their opportunities. Now, granted, there were some that came and started right away. But for the most part, guys came and sat for a while. Okay, no big deal. But now they don't have to. And because they don't have to, they don't. So that's the difference. So, hey, just to make sure, hey, if there's anybody in here who is not subscribed to the channel, make sure you guys please go and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be making some changes to our subscriptions, by the way, too, or to our memberships, not subscriptions. So just something to think about. It's going to be to your all's benefit, too, as far as memberships. So make sure that you guys go and sign up to come be a member. But if you don't, when we make the changes to the memberships, I think it's going to kick everybody that's currently a member out, and you'll have to sign up again, that's not a big deal. But I just want to at least let you guys be aware of that. We're going to make some changes, me and my partner, who's the producer of the channel. So just want to make you guys aware of that. And when it happens, I'll definitely let you know. So Milk says, I think Cousins would be better than Rodgers. Cousins was just recovering from Achilles. Well, Rodgers was too. So keep that in mind. They were both recovering from Achilles. Now, Cousins happened a lot later in the season, but Cousins was bad last year, man. He was bad. So, but I'm encouraged by what I saw. Look, it's OTAs. It's guys running around in shorts and helmets. You don't see a lot of contact. So, but like I said, I like, as much as I can be encouraged, the thing that encourages me the most about OTAs is Broderick. That is what encourages me the most about the team, is Broderick Jones. Broderick Jones said, you know what? I wasn't good last year. I need to fix it. And he went out and did something. So, no, this is a Steelers channel. So no need to come in here asking about MMA. So we'll make sure that you can't do that anymore. So, I mean, play action is Cousins' bread and butter. I mean, it is. Appreciate it, Andre. Thank you, man. My thing is, I'm a diehard Steelers fan, and there's going to be some people that rub me the right way, some people that I rub the wrong way, because I just tell it like I see it. Whether you agree with it or disagree, I'm always going to tell my truth, and that's it. Tarkus Box says, do you think there's any truth to the rumor of possibly trading Highsmith away? Not now. Not right now. No. Now, maybe in the offseason, yes, but not now. I mean, the Steelers just created some depth with Jack Sawyer. Now, here's what I would say about Highsmith. If the Steelers traded Alex Highsmith for a legitimate wide receiver number 2, I would have to think about that very seriously. The thing about it is, for me, though, Highsmith is really good against the run, and Herbig is not. He's not. And there's some people that talk about, well, what are you talking about? I mean, what game was Herbig not good? I'm like, did you watch the games? Because if you watch the games, then you could just watch and see that he wasn't good against the run. It wasn't hard to see. So Mud says there ain't no way we're picking up Cousins. The problem with Cousins is $37 million is guaranteed over the next 2 years. I wouldn't touch that if I was the Steelers. Keenan Allen is the number 2. He is, but Keenan Allen doesn't block at all. And I think the Steelers would want a number 2. I don't know. If it were me, I'd give up some blocking from Keenan Allen to be able to get a guy that can just go get open and catch the football. Now, Keenan Allen has an injury history. That's the thing. And he doesn't block. But if it were me, I would be a guy that said, you know what? Let me get this guy in because he just literally gets open. He just gets open. Highsmith for Olave. The Saints wouldn't do that. You know, if we threw Highsmith in there and a second-round pick, the Saints would probably do that. But they're not going to just trade Alex Highsmith. They're not going to take Alex Highsmith straight up for Chris Olave. They're not going to do that. Howard said he wouldn't give Cousins $37, much less $37 million. Yeah, you're right, Alonzo Dunn. Allen, it seems like his hamstrings are bad. And once your hamstrings, as you get older and they start to go bad, they don't ever get better. They don't ever get better. So that's the thing about Keenan Allen is that he's an injury history. So I tell you what, boy, the pooch today is wearing me out with the snoring. Wearing me out. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Sad we made the Cowboys a playoff team by giving them Pickens. We didn't even replace the talent. No, we didn't. And that was the thing. It's like the Steelers' wide receiver room is better than it was to start the season last year because DK Metcalf is better than George Pickens. But it's not better than what it was a month ago when both of those guys were on the team. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But the Steelers have already made it up in their mind. They are not going to pay George Pickens. And the Dallas Cowboys aren't going to pay him either. Cowboys aren't going to have 2 wide receivers and a quarterback that's making $60 million and 2 wide receivers making $30 million. They're not going to do that. So, yeah, you're right. Pickens had to go. Yeah, she's cutting it up, man. But what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? She follows me everywhere during the day, and I'm sitting here. So she's just, oh, you're just going to sit down for a while? Well, then I'll just lay down here and snore as loud as possible right next to you. So that's right. DK was the replacement for Pickens, and he's better than Pickens. He's better than Pickens. So Jason said he would have paid Pickens. Well, but the Steelers said they weren't going to. So I was on the same boat. My whole thing was, let's see how Pickens acts this year. If he acts like he has some sense, then we could pay him. But if he doesn't, then we don't have to. So, but they decided they weren't going to. Yeah, and that's the whole thing, Digital Dust. You're right. We made sure we got a third. Nobody else was giving up because if you think about this, and we talked about this when the Pickens trade came up, the league is kind of going away from the knucklehead wide receiver. Like when you think and you put the top 15 wide receivers and you think about who the top 15 guys are, as far as knucklehead receivers, who are we talking about? Tyreek Hill? Other than that, who else is a knucklehead? There really isn't anybody. The league is kind of pushing back on that. And I like it. I like it that they are. So, Steelers, you excited for Caleb? I am too. You feel sorry for Pickens because he's playing with Dak? No, I don't feel sorry for him. He's not going to feel sorry for him. So. Xavier Worthy's not a top 15 receiver. So, and his legal issues, he didn't really have any legal issues. It was his ex-girlfriend was cheating on him and then assaulted him and tore up his house. Like Xavier Worthy, they arrested him and then they rescinded that because he literally didn't do anything wrong. So he didn't have any legal problems. Yeah, that's what happened to Xavier Worthy. Like, he didn't do anything. You may be thinking about, I can't even remember. Rasheed Rice got in trouble. But neither one of those guys are top 15 receivers. Yeah, the league is absolutely showing pushback, and I like it. And Pickens very well might have a breakout year. He's playing. Look, Dak Prescott gets a lot of grief because he chokes in the playoffs, and he does. But in the regular season, Dak's pretty damn good. So, and they're going to throw the ball a lot. So, if you were Omar Khan, what would you do at the wide receiver position? I still think they got to go find a number 2 receiver, but I think they're trying to hold out hope that it's Roman Wilson. I think that's what their thing is. I think they're holding out hope that Roman Wilson is the guy. Whether he is or not, I don't know. But I think that's what they're doing. Well, she didn't burn down Xavier Worthy's house. She just tore up stuff in it. Yeah, I don't know, Byron Nelson. It might be a bad hope. No, the Steelers didn't need Deebo Samuel. Absolutely not. Deebo Samuel's not a good receiver, man. Deebo Samuel is a gadget guy. And the Steelers don't have a gadget guy offense. So, and then Xavier, we need a wide receiver too. We don't need gadget guys. That's not going to help us. Steelers got a lot of hopes and dreams. Yeah, they got young guys on offense, so you have to hope that those guys play, that they play well. We drafted them. Now you just got to hope that they can play. But everybody's like that at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody that drafts guys, you got to hope that they can play. Look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs have drafted 2 left tackles the last 2 years, and neither one of those guys can play football. So what did they do? They drafted another one. So you just got to hope and pray. You don't always get it right. Byron, I wouldn't be nervous about it. I wouldn't be nervous at all, man. I'd go into it thinking they're not going to do it. So, I wouldn't say Justin Jefferson was a nobody. What was he, the 21st pick in the draft? He was pretty damn good coming out of college. So he wasn't a nobody. But I don't think anybody thought he was the best receiver in the league. But he turned out to be. I get what you're saying with that, though. That everybody's got to prove that they can play. So the Steelers just have a bevy of young offensive linemen that we hope can play. You know? So that's where I'm at. Well, all right, guys. I appreciate you guys, man. That's all I got for right now. I got some other stuff that I got to do. If you have an opportunity, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. I will be live tomorrow at 10 Eastern, 9 Central in the morning. So if you want to come and check out the live in the morning, if you have an opportunity to do that, make sure you guys show up. Other than that, man, we'll have our podcast that comes on Friday. Alonzo Dunn with another super chat before we bust out of here. He says, I like Todd Haley also, but let's not forget that Arthur Smith did what he did in Tennessee with Tannehill. Very true. Very true. But he's got to have that run game. And if he can get that run game going, then the quarterback can look good. That's the key. I've said it all along. The offensive line, man. The offensive line. So I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you again for being here as always and always supporting the channel, man. Thank you. Love you guys. I will talk to you soon. And aloha.